So as I was playing around with the game, I noticed that there's a bit of a bug, and I can show you by hitting the green flag. And while I hit the green flag, I'm going to hold down the D button. Right? So right now I'm holding down the D button, and you can see here that my player starts off on the far right side of the screen. And why is that? It's because my player is still controllable even though it's the intro screen. Okay, and so that's not right. Our player should not be controllable until the game starts. Right? So how can we get that to happen? Well, what we can do is create a variable, right? And this variable is going to allow the player to move. Right? The variable is going to have two possible values, a 0 or a 1. When the variable is set to 0, the player cannot move. When the player is set to 1, the player can move. Right. So let's go ahead and get started by making that variable here under data and say make variable, and we're going to say p1 move. Right. And here on the green flag we can set p1 move to 0. Well, actually we should do it here on the backdrops. Okay, so here we'll set the p1 move to 0, and when the backdrop switches to field, I guess I want to have it wait for a couple seconds, and then I want to set back p1 move to 1. Right? So p1 move is going to be equal to 0, so the player cannot move until the backdrop switches to field, and it waits for 2 seconds. Then we're setting p1 move to 1, which allows the player 1 to move. Okay, and so now we need to use this variable to limit the player's movement. And we could see here that these blocks of code allow the player to move. Right? And if we want to limit the player's movement, what we can do is add an if statement around that. Right? We could say if. And if what? Only do this if p1 move is equal to 1. Right. So in the beginning, when p1 move is equal to 0, it will not do this because this statement here is not true. Right. So that's what we're going to do to get the player to not move. And so you can see here I have it set on the A key, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to hold down the A key just to test it to see if it works. So I'm holding down the A key, and my player is still in the same spot. It's going to wait for 2 seconds, and then my player can now move to the left. Okay. So I guess the challenge exercise here will be to extend the algorithm so that the player is limited when he moves the W key, the D key, and the S key.